What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios Channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Happy Thursday, and today we're going to be continuing our trek through the 31 days of Disney and discussing Treasure Planet, featuring the voice talents of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Brian Murray, David Hyde Pierce, Dame Emma Thompson, Martin Short, Roscoe Lee Brown, and Laurie Metcalf. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here today once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Thursday today, so as this is going up, you've got our regular Throwback Thursday content also going simultaneously on the channel. Lots to choose from. But today, as far as the 31 Days of Disney goes, we're going to be discussing Treasure Planet. And our movie opens on the planet of Montresor, where young Jim Hawkins is enchanted by stories of the space pirate Captain Flint and his ability to strike suddenly and disappear without a trace, hiding his loot on the fabled Treasure Planet. 12 years later, Jim has grown into an aloof troublemaker after his father abandoned him when he was just a child. He reluctantly helps his mother, Sarah, run the Benbow Inn and is caught by police after recklessly sky surfing with a rocket-powered sailboard. A spaceship crashes near the inn, and the dying pilot, Billy Bones, gives Jim a sphere and warns him to beware the cyborg. Pirates attack, burning down the inn, and Jim flees with his mother and their dog-like friend, Dr. Delbert Doppler. Jim discovers that the sphere contains a holographic star map leading to the location of Treasure Planet, and he decides to seek out the legendary fortune. Doppler commissions the ship, the RLS Legacy, which is commanded by the feline Captain Amelia and the stone-skinned first mate, Mr. Arrow. The motley crew is secretly led by the half-robot cook, John Silver, whom Jim suspects is the cyborg that he was warned about. Sent to work in the galley, Jim is supervised by Silver and his shape-shifting pet, Morph, and they form a bit of a father-son relationship. When the ship encounters a supernova, Jim secures the crew's lifelines. As a black hole forms, ruthless insectoid crew member Scroop cuts Mr. Arrow's lifeline, sending him to his death. The ship rides the shockwaves to safety, and Jim is framed for neglecting Arrow's lifeline, but is comforted by Silver. Reaching the Treasure Planet, Jim discovers that the crew are indeed pirates, led by Silver, and a mutiny erupts. Doppler, Amelia, and Morph abandon ship, and Jim retrieves the map. Silver can't bring himself to shoot Jim, which allows him to escape with the others. The group is shot down, injuring Amelia, and they discover that the map is actually Morph in disguise, and the real map is still on the ship. The group then meet Ben, an abandoned navigational robot with knowledge of Flint and his treasure, but missing much of his memory. Cornered by the pirates, Jim, Morph, and Ben hijack a longboat and return to the Legacy in order to retrieve the map. Scroop attacks them, and the artificial gravity is disabled. Scroop attempts to cut Jim loose, but Jim kicks him overboard into deep space. Jim is then caught by Silver and his crew, who have already captured Doppler and Amelia. Silver then forces Jim to use the map, which directs them to a portal that opens up to any location in the universe, which is what allowed Flint to conduct his raids. They open up the portal to the core of Treasure Planet, which is actually an ancient machine that Flint commandeered to stow his treasure. But they trip a hidden sensor. As the pirates begin to collect the loot, Jim finds the skeletal remains of Flint, who is holding the missing component to Ben's cognitive computer. He reinserts it, and Ben immediately recalls that Flint rigged the planet to explode upon the treasure's discovery. As the planet collapses, Silver attempts to escape with a boatload of treasure, but he abandons it in order to save Jim. The survivors then board the Legacy, which becomes damaged and unable to escape the planet in time. So Jim rigs a makeshift sailboard and rides ahead, setting the portal to the Montresor spaceport as he and the others clear the planet's explosion. Jim finds Silver below decks and allows him to escape. Silver gives him Morph and a handful of treasure in order to pay for rebuilding the inn, believing that Jim will rattle the stars. Sometime later, a party is hosted at the Benbow Inn. Doppler and Amelia are now married with children. Ben has become a waiter at the inn, and Jim, who matured under Silver's mentorship, has become an interstellar cadet. He looks to the skies and sees an image of Silver in the clouds as our movie comes to its end. In my ever humble opinion, this movie should have been better than it was. On the surface, it sounds like it had everything to captivate me, but I was bored through a good chunk of it. I liked the way it started. I liked the part when they found Captain Flint's treasure, and I liked the way it ended. But I felt like it drug too much in the middle. We know the story of Treasure Island. Hell, even Muppet Treasure Island, which I reviewed a couple years ago. I'll go ahead and link my review for that up here if you've never seen it before. But even Muppet Treasure Island, and as much as I am a Muppets fanatic, as much as I love Tim Curry, who played Long John Silver in that bored me. I feel like the middle point here, once we get the mutiny, all the way up until we get to the treasure, in virtually every telling of Treasure Island that I've ever seen, I feel like that part drags way too long. And the story, the movies end up suffering as a result of it. Now, I liked the way they portrayed Jim Hawkins in this. For those of you that know the Disney Afternoon and watched that in the 90s, Jim Hawkins and the way he surfs around the clouds on that rocket-powered sailboard very much was a throwback to me for Kid Cloud Kicker. Like, I saw that and I'm immediately thinking this could have been a Tailspin movie. But for whatever reason, it wasn't. And the parallels were very, very obvious to me. Maybe not to everybody else, but at least to me. And I enjoyed that dynamic. I liked the way that he was portrayed in this. But again, once we get to the mutiny, up until we find the treasure, everything just kind of drug, and it's like, okay, can we get there already? And then when they find the treasure, it was very much akin to me of the Goonies and finding the ship of One-Eyed Willie. And seeing him sitting there on his captain's chair, on his throne essentially, surrounded by gold. It was very much a similar moment for me as that was. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. I don't know if that was supposed to be an Easter egg or not. But for me, that's where I connected to. I'm curious if any of you guys out there have the same muscle memories and connect it the same way. You're going to have to let me know in the comments. But overall, I think that Treasure Planet looked great on paper, just wasn't executed to its fullest potential. And it's with that in mind that I give Treasure Planet 2.5 out of 5 stars. Again, I'm curious to know what you guys think. I did enjoy JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, in the role of Jim Hawkins. I enjoyed Martin Short in the role of Ben. But what did you guys think of Treasure Planet? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure that you guys check out today's Throwback Thursday content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. We've got all the favorites that you've grown to love seeing in Throwback Thursday here once again today. We've got the ATW View from the Simple Man's brand. We've got the Indie Force podcast from the J. Hebert Studios. We've got the No DQ and AV and the No DQ review, as well as Talk Wrestling, all from the No DQ channel. We've got classic open mic nights from the Jeff Meacham Network. And then we've got Renegade of Wrestling, Dads on Wrestling, Stat Boy Rants, and Double Down with Double A, all from the Casa D18 Studios channel. All thrown in and brought to you as part of our weekly Throwback Thursday coverage. And then tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be another episode of Renegades Reviews as we continue through the 31 days of Disney and we go back to the Stitch franchise to discuss Stitch the movie, featuring the voice talents of DeVay Chase, Tia Carrere, Dee Bradley Baker, David Ogden Stiers, Veen Rames, Kevin McDonald, Kevin Michael Richardson, Zoe Caldwell, Liliana Mummy, Jeff Bennett, Rob Paulson, Frank Welker, and Chris Sanders. And then later on in the evening, here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be a special Friday night watch-along as we cover SmackDown live at Madison Square Garden. 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here across the entire multiverse of media. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. We've got Throwback Thursday content ongoing today. We've got Stitch the movie tomorrow. We've got a watch-along of Friday Night SmackDown live at Madison Square Garden. And then we've still got so much more right here on Renegades Reviews as we continue our 31 days of Disney. Again, you don't want to miss any of it. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, Pay-Per-View PLE Watch-Along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Treasure Island, fans of Treasure Planet, fans of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, fans of Martin Short. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them, as it's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithms now that we are in fact a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in this afternoon. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.